Okay. Well, I'd like to start by saying how blessed and thankful that I feel to even be asked to give a testimony. And when I was first asked by Wes, I immediately said, oh no, there's no way I can speak in front of the whole church. And then the next thing I said was, well, it could go either way. I could get up there and not shut up. But I was asked to talk about how God works in our daily lives and how He has turned something bad in my life into something good. And I've witnessed a lot of miracles in my life, but I'd like to tell you how a very special room at my house came about. It has many, many uses. My family and friends and even strangers come into this 16 by 24 space. It's very special to me, and I use it for a prayer room a lot. And sometimes whenever nobody's at home and I'm cleaning it, I play my favorite gospel song from my childhood and I sing it as loud as I can. And sometimes it's also used to play rook in on the weekends. But most of all, it's where I make my living at, doing what I love. And I do my friends' and family's hair. It's just a small beauty salon that I never wanted at my house in the first place. But God had a different plan. You see, in 2009, I put my dream salon up for sale. It was at the perfect location at the busiest street in town, and lots of hard work went into it from my family and friends to make this little old house come back to life. But after 7 years at that location, I was stressed to the max. Something just kept telling me that life wasn't supposed to be this stressful. And so me and my partner decided that we would sell it. And we knew that it was the worst time to be selling anything because the economy had went into recession. But right after putting my salon in town up for sale, the biggest tree in my yard, which was over 60 feet tall, fell all the way through my garage at home. And I was thankful that it didn't do damage to my house, but all I could feel was more stress. So while in the process of rebuilding my garage, someone said, why don't you just put your beauty shop in your garage at your house while you're rebuilding it back? And I just said immediately, oh no, I don't want that at my house. I just acted like they had told me to jump off of a bridge or something. But I didn't know where I was going to go work. I just thought I would go work for somebody else and let them be the boss and let them take care of the overhead and all the upkeep. But the more I thought about having my shop at home, the more it seemed like the perfect fit. I was so unsure and I was so afraid that no one would come. But I knew that all the clients that I've been doing had been coming to me for years. But I still had doubts. I thought they would never want to come to my house and get their hair done. It just sounded too unprofessional to me. But God made a way for all this to happen. I saw Jesus once again through my family and friends and neighbors that helped me get my little shop finished at home. I went to all my neighbors and asked their permission for me to have a business at home. I even went and talked to the PVA office about zoning, and everyone said yes. So I remember thinking, this is a sign that I should do this. And my salon in town sold in 5 months, which was a blessing. And God worked all this out for me. And what a blessing of a tree falling and destroying something and turning it into something wonderful. I've now been at home working for 5 years, and I've been overwhelmed at how busy that I stay. Because when I went to beauty school 24 years ago, and Nancy, you remember this, we were taught that you had to have the perfect location, and you had to have, and that you were never to talk about politics or religion, and that you should be a better listener for your clients and not tell too many personal details about your own life. Well, I've broken all of those rules. I knew that if God made all this possible for me to be at home working, that I could honor Him and really live in the Spirit the way I knew that I needed to. So I put a little sign in my salon that says, take time to pray. I just wanted everyone to know how I lived, and I just hoped that I didn't offend anyone. And as I looked around my house this week, I saw that I have something in every room of my house that reminds me of God. Even in my car, I have a cross necklace of Masons, and I have a bracelet that my mom gave me hanging from my mirror, and on it, it has a little clear glass ball with a mustard seed in it. And all these objects remind me of the people that gave them to me, and it also reminds me to stop and count my blessings. I also pray over my appointment book sometimes, and I know that God has placed each name at each slot there for a special reason, not just to sit in my chair and get their hair done. I have a special bond with so many of my clients, and I give God all the glory for everyone and every detail in my life. I want to glorify God in every way that I can, and each day I strive to be better than the day before. It's not always been easy, and I'm always fighting some sort of spiritual battle and asking for forgiveness. And Jesus is always there picking me back up with no restrictions. He just takes me back just as I am. It makes me stronger each time to focus on the good things in my life that I've been blessed with. And over the last week and a half, I've also really prayed for God to lead me to the right words to speak. I've been really opened up to what my own life looks like and to what my top priorities are when it comes to the end of each day. I have 2 number 1 goals in life for my own personal self. Yes, 2 number 1s. But that is to make it to heaven and for seeds of faith to be sown and planted so that everyone that I love can be in heaven with me. I've always been in church, raised with a strong Christian background, but I've not always treasured that background the way that I should. But the seeds of faith were planted in me by my parents and my grandparents. And yes, I have been through many storms and troubled waters in my life, and those seeds of faith are the only thing that have ever gotten me closer and found me any peace with Jesus. And I just pray that I can sow enough seeds that my grandchildren's children can reap what I've sowed. And every day I speak with Jesus, and many days I still have been troubled. And one of the hardest things, and also the best thing that I've ever come to realize, is that God has a plan for everything already worked out. I have a large print in my house with the snow scene on it, and it simply reads, "Be still and know that I am God." And when I'm all worried and worked up and been praying, as I do a lot, I just sit there and read that. Be still and know that I am God. And I know that He already has it all taken care of. And to trust Him, and in His time, He will handle it. And that's the hard part, in His time, not my time, in His. But my faith and my Jesus are my best friends, and I feel the Holy Spirit around me every day, but I haven't always felt it. And I know that the Spirit of God is around us all at all times. We just have to stop and slow down, and all that we have to do is simply ask for God's help, and it's truly there. And I'm so thankful for my little simple life and my family that I share it with. And I hope and pray that everyone in my life will reach out and have their own personal journey with Jesus, because at the end of the day, that's all that matters.